I'm gonna be honest, why are a lot of adjustable actuation and rapid trigger keyboards so like terribly built? Like, they put that feature in so that they can cheap out on anything. This keyboard right here, right? The HyperX Alloy 60%. I bought this for $100 3 years ago. And the build quality is amazing. RGB. I like the detachable USB, has really good stands. It has some good heft. There's nothing really wrong with this keyboard except for the fact that it doesn't have rapid trigger, and you can say that the travel time is 1.8 millimeters for an input, and it doesn't have rapid trigger and adjustable actuation. That is the only problem with this keyboard. Even with a 1.7 actuation, that's still really good. Had this thing for 3 years and it has done me amazing. And I get the Steel series, you know, the Apex Pro. Considering that the Apex Pro is almost like double the price of this, you're just paying for that feature, that actuation feature. The keyboard we're talking about today, it's the Razer Huntsman Mini Analog. This is one of the cheapest keyboards that actually has adjustable actuation and rapid trigger, which is great. Now, it's not going to be as good as the premium ones where the actuation can go down to 0.1. This one is like 1.5, but still, it still has an adjustable one. We'll talk about it later. This goes for $150 in the US, $200 here in Canada. I'm going to tell y'all right now, don't get at full price. This will go on sale eventually, so just wait for the sale. I bought it used as usual. You know how we do. This is what it looks like. Same size as pretty much every 60%. Can we start with the build quality? They said it was aluminum, which technically, I guess you can say it is. It's this plate right here, the top plate. This is aluminum. However, this part and this whole back plate and the stands are not aluminum. It is plastic. I'm pretty sure. You knock on that, that sounds like plastic. Disappointing build. If you like lightweight, this is hella lightweight. As for the shake, y'all can definitely hear some of that shake. There's stuff in here. It is used. However, this has been used for 3 years. And the reason I compare it to this is because it's my first ever keyboard and I like to compare it. And apparently I just got a gem right here. These are not that good. It's probably because of use. Since it's so lightweight, it's kind of easy to move around on your desk. The stands are disappointing because it's not that high. It does not go that high off your desk, whereas these are so much higher. I don't know if y'all can tell, but look at the difference. Y'all see the difference right there? I don't know why they made this so short, but I will say some positives. The USB-C, detachable. We like that. This should be the standard nowadays. Okay, USB-C is the universal cable. I know some people like to clown Razer. I'm kind of one of them, but this is subjective. However, the for gamers, by gamers, it kind of goes hard. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. All right, let's talk about the keyboard itself, like the keys. So we're using double shot PBT. Great for durability, gonna last you a long time. 100 million keystrokes, which by the time you die will have plenty of strokes left in this keyboard for people to use. So yeah, you're looking at it's really good. And of course, it's a 60% keyboard. So one of the most important things is convenience, right? Because since you're using a 60%, you're gonna have to rely on the FN key for things like the arrows, which I use a lot. I think the arrow key is one of the most important secondary keys that I need, especially as an editor. The arrow keys are just not in a convenient spot. They're in IJKL. I can use with one hand. Maybe it's just something I have to get used to. However, HyperX's keyboard, FN key here, arrow keys right here. So easy to use. This is super convenient. I can have something in one hand while, using my arrow keys. That was thought out so well, but it just surprises, like, especially since it's Razer. Razer is already it's one of those brands, you know what I'm saying, where they go by name, right? They'll overprice things because of their name. They're one of the most popular brands. Honestly, I understand companies like Nike do the same thing where they don't use the best material. However, you buy it for the brand. I was a sucker for Razer back in the day. I had like a ton of Razer products because I was a fan. Then I grew up, I understood how some tech works, and I understood what Razer was doing. But if Razer ever wanted to sponsor me, I might. And for the actual switches themselves, they use analog switches. They're optical switches. They're black. The color doesn't really matter, but I really like the color. I don't know. It gives that sleek design. Doesn't really matter. I was looking at what they were describing it as, and they said like infrared technology. Listen, I ain't all about that yapping. Optical switches are so that keyboards can have their actuation levels adjusted and enable rapid trigger. I don't believe mechanical keyboards can have adjustable actuation and rapid trigger. I was looking at what other people were saying about like the typing. For me personally, like as y'all hear, it's pretty loud. It's not as loud as clicky switches, and it doesn't have that annoying clicky switch where it has that high pitch when you're clicking with a clicky switch. This doesn't have that. It's just loud. No sound dampeners. People were saying they don't like it. However, I personally do. It doesn't have that annoying sound. I don't really like quiet keyboards. I like hearing that type. So honestly, it's pretty satisfying for me. But if that annoys you too much, then this keyboard is probably not for you. It really just depends on what kind of person you are. I don't know if a lot of people care about RGB nowadays. However, it would still be nice for your keyboard to light up pretty well. This keyboard does not light up well. The backlighting on this thing is bad. And let me show y'all what I mean. If I show y'all the side by side, you're gonna be amazed. Okay, so the top is the Razer, the bottom is my HyperX. The RGB is just so much better on the HyperX. So if you didn't mess with the actuation at all, it actually has a 1.5 millimeter actuation, and to press all the way down, 3.6 millimeters is pretty good. 1.5, I would say, from what I've seen, 2.0 is like good. But of course, the main reason you would get this keyboard is the actuation adjusting. The problem with this is you need to use Synapse. I mean, most company apps are not that great anyways, but Synapse is something special. Good or bad? I don't know. What's the general consensus? But it has to be on at all times in order to use rapid trigger. Like if you don't have Synapse in the background, it'll go back to its default setting. Yeah, no onboard memory for that. And I'll tell y'all the actual settings that I use. So Razer Huntsman Mini Analog. I didn't really have to download anything. Just make sure you have the latest version of Synapse. And so we go into actuation at the top here, and we will want to, I mean, you can select different keys, but I'm going to select all keys, right? And then you can adjust. So after testing, I have a 2.0 millimeter actuation. So that's when it'll register my input. You can even test it here. So if I press W, you can see. And then the rapid trigger is 0.5. If you go 0.4 and below, it'll give you a warning and you're gonna have like double click. Now I know you can only use 1.5 millimeters. All right, the premium keyboards like the SteelSeries Pro, the Apex Pro can do 0.1. As someone who has used that keyboard, 0.1 is too crazy. It actually feels like a touchscreen. That's how sensitive it is. I just had so many times where I hovered over, I slightly grazed the button and it presses. So 1.5 is actually a really decent number here. Gaming performance, right? And for gaming, it's really good. Like if you're buying this thing, which of course, the main thing you're buying a gaming keyboard is for gaming. That is the main thing you want. And this performs really well. However, if some of the other features matter to you, as well, like build quality, RGB, keyboard sounds, the company, then maybe this isn't the keyboard for you. But if you want strictly performance for the price, I would say if this is on sale, definitely go get yourself one. I think there's another keyboard that's cheaper than this that has like rapid trigger and adjustable actuation. However, this Razer keyboard is probably one of the cheapest keyboards that you can get that has rapid trigger. So yeah, overall, recommend it if it's on sale. Do not buy it full price. You can wait. I definitely think this goes on sale like multiple times in the year. You just gotta wait for it.